Welcome back. Pope Leo XIV has officially marked the start of his papacy with an inaugural mass held overnight in St Peter's Square.
The first American Pope addressed a crowd of more than 250,000 pilgrims and world leaders, calling for unity and outlining some other key priorities.
For more, we're joined live by Dr. Claudio Betti, Director at the Australian Catholic University's Rome campus. What did you make of his address?
Well, it was quite interesting. I must say it was meek and mild-mannered and powerful at the same time. I think it was full of contents, but it was delivered in a very mild way. Probably different from, of course, he's different from Pope Francis. I think that there were some very interesting points there. If you want, I can try to point them out.
Yeah, absolutely. So take us through then. Was this an indication of his leadership to come?
I think it was. This one and a couple of other audiences that he had in the past few days. One of them was with the diplomatic corps, and the other one is with the press, which is something, and with the media that interests you as well. I think that the main idea today was unity and love at the same time. But clearly it came out that his idea of a church is not a church as a fortress, but as a yeast, a leaven in society. And that is probably what it will try to be all throughout his pontificate. And then another very important thing is it talked about doing this in unity, not only within the church, but also with other churches and other religions and all men and women of goodwill. This is a second point that was especially important. And then a third one, which is, I think it was just a passage, a small sentence, but I think it's extremely interesting. In English, you will find the term that we need to be made restless by history. I think in Italian it sounds more like we need to allow history to disquiet us. And I think that this is crucial in his theology.
Yeah, we're just looking at the pictures now. Really hot day in Rome, wasn't it? We noticed our Prime Minister even wore a hat.
Oh yeah, we have seen many there were many wearing hats in the church. In the square, but not only the Prime Minister. It was also a lot of others. Also, I was saying, as you can see, there is a second next to him, which is wearing a turban.
Is that typical protocol, wearing a hat for a mass like that?
I would say absolutely not. But of course, the sun was very bad, and I think that. I mean, my idea is that considering that it's a liturgical celebration, men should not wear hats. But, well, eventually, I think that the protocol had to be changed a little bit because the sun was really hot. And it lasted 3 hours and a half.
Oh, so not normally where hats wouldn't normally be allowed?
Well, nobody's going to take their hat down.
Okay.
At least to the Prime Minister.
So it was a sun-smart service because of the heat. Interesting. Okay. Times are changing in the early days of the papacy.
We were there since 6 o'clock. The square was open at 6, so the mass started at 10 and it ended at midday and 30.
There you go.
So it was quite a long morning.
Make sure you take your sunscreen next time. Thank you, Claudio. Appreciate it.